Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle Chambers, and I'm here today with Jackson Rudolph. Thanks for joining the podcast today, Jackson.
Always a pleasure, my man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Jackson's been a member of the podcast for a long time basically since the inception of the podcast from the sport karate side of things. And it's great to have you on again today. So the Virtual Fight Tour is their sponsor of KC Sports Talk, and I know you've been a commentator and you've also covered their event, done articles about them in Black Belt magazine. So maybe talk about what they've done over the past little while and what they're doing to really grow the sport, both in America and internationally as well.
Absolutely. Well, I am Virtual Fight Tour's #1 fan. I think that what Jesse Ray has done with that company, with that program, whatever word you want to put to it, that empire that he has started, he has done an incredible job with it. And it came to us at such a pivotal time in sport karate history when we didn't have tournaments regularly, right? We weren't able to see, high caliber point fighters going at it. Yes, we had some of the virtual events that was great for a lot of the forms of weapons competitors. But there truly wasn't a way to bring together point fighters. In a way, like the UFC did with Fight Island, that's what Jesse Ray did for sport karate, is he brought back sport karate point fighting matches amongst really high caliber point fighters. I mean, even in the early days of Virtual Fight Tour, in the first couple of editions, you had Bailey Murphy and Tyreek Saint. You had Bailey Murphy and Jack Felton. You had that amazing either double or triple between Ryan George and Kevin Walker. So you had very, very high caliber point fighting names on these fight cards. Obviously, as it's gone on and on, there was a fight between Avery Plowden and Christian Rivas. And I know if I start trying to list all the big fights, I'm going to wind up forgetting people. So I'm going to stop there. But the key is that he has gotten so many of these top tier fighters, not to mention some of his own guys, right? Your Tyson Rays and D Stacks and all those guys. Anthony Merricks, I think, had a couple of VFT records at one point, or maybe still does, right? So what Jesse has done with the caliber of talent that he's been able to bring in, and his production quality just keeps getting better and better. And the other thing that I got to give Virtual Fight Tour a lot of credit for is, if I remember correctly, they were the first ones to take a chance on me as a commentator. Jesse was putting together the Virtual Forms Tour and thought that I would be a good member of the commentating crew along with Jeff Doss and Carmichael Simon. And we did it, and then I was getting text messages after we were off the air of people telling me that they enjoyed it and thought that I did a good job. And one thing led to another, and then I was doing commentating for sportmartialarts.com and Black Belt Magazine and doing it at tournaments, and all the way up to doing it for ESPN at the US Open. And so all of that started with Virtual Fight Tour and Jesse Ray. So I talk about everything that they did for the sport, but Virtual Fight Tour has done a lot for me personally as well. So I tip my cap to them, and I think that anytime a VFT card is coming up, you should be tuning in.
I love the theater around Virtual Fight Tour and what they bring to the sport, kind of that boxing mentality. For those of you who may have seen Creed, or I guess Creed 3 that came out recently, something like that. I like the theater of sport karate. One more question. What are the tournaments that you're planning on commentating at here for the rest of 2023?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll tell you some of them that are basically confirmed on my schedule. At the US Open, I'll be part of the commentating team for the ESPN broadcast up there. And then, the rest of the season, we're kind of a ways out, so I'll see what other opportunities come my way. Of course, the Battle of Atlanta. That's another big one. I was thinking of the TV broadcast, but Battle of Atlanta does an online stream. I'm going to be commentating for the Battle of Atlanta again, so very excited for that. That's always a really fun night show. They're going to have Reed Presley on the mic as the MC in the arena, and I always love that synergy with me in the booth on the stream and Reed on stage talking to the crowd. Obviously, Reed and I are great friends, and we're pretty good competitive rivals for a while there. So it's going to be great getting to work with him again. So Battle of Atlanta, I'm super excited for. And then Diamond Nationals. We haven't, gotten everything set in stone yet, but absolutely with Juventex and the stream they put together, hope to be back on the mic for the Diamond Nationals once again as well.
It's great. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast episode. We'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely, Kyle. Thank you for your time. Keep spreading that love for sport karate, my man. And I always love me some KC Sports Talk.
Thank you. This has been KC Sports Talk, the podcast. Kyle Chambers.